I love it. I love it. I love it. Look at this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
Hey, what's up my homies, Lay here. This one's going to be Marina Rodriguez taking on Mackenzie Dern. Not a bad main event, you know, pretty decent. Not bad. Man, can I just say, Herb Dean, man, you're the GOAT, bro. You really saved me on that Kevin Holland bet as well. Cashed Nico price, which was a really decent fight. But the real GOAT of the night, hey, Herb Dean, bro, you're the GOAT. So yeah, man, let's jump into breaking down these matchups. And as always, guys, make sure you hamzat smash the like button. Alright guys, we've got Charlie Onteveros taking on Steve Garcia to start this card. So what we've got in this one is Charlie Onteveros is a karate style guy and Steve Garcia seems to be more of a striker. Thinking back to Steve Garcia's UFC debut, he was doing some nice work on the feet, you know, landing his punches. But Luis Pena, being the well-rounded guy he is, he looked to grapple in that fight and basically controlled Steve Garcia with grappling round in, round out. Now, Charlie Onteveros, his UFC debut was a loss too, but it was, you know, way worse. He didn't even get to compete in the grappling because he just got dumped on his head. You know, Kevin Holland was looking to take the fight to the mat, but when you slam the opponent on the head, you know, kinda knocked him out. Well, not kinda, he did. He knocked him out with a slam takedown. So I kinda imagine that Steve Garcia isn't going to be grappled round in, round out. And Charlie Onteveros probably isn't going to get slammed on his head in this matchup. So what you've got really is a karate guy taking on a boxer in Steve Garcia. Inside the smaller octagon, where the karate fighter is going to want more space to work, I'm going to say Steve Garcia wins this matchup. Yeah, the only thing that I'm a little bit worried about with Steve Garcia is the cardio. You know, he didn't look too conditioned against Luis Pena. He did take that fight on short notice, but you know, you got to be ready all year round. So if Steve Garcia has improved his conditioning, his cardio, keeps the fight standing, yeah, I'm leaning towards Steve Garcia. My numbers, I would say Steve Garcia maybe 7 times out of 10. So around that minus 220 mark. And we've got Garcia coming in minus 300. So yeah, man, the bookies know that Steve Garcia is the rightful favourite. But they're making you spend a little bit of juice if you want to make some money. So yeah, man, starting this card, I'll take Steve Garcia. Alright, moving into Lupita Godinez taking on Sam Hughes. You know, I'm looking at this matchup thinking, what is this? You know, what is this, man? Have you seen that meme, guys? I'm going to put the meme in too.
What's this?
But yeah, we've got Lupita Godinez and Sam Hughes. Now, these girls have fought before. They had a battle when they were both amateurs. But yeah, we are getting the rematch. The only way this fight could play out differently, Sam Hughes has got to use her wrestling. You know, you look at what Jessica Penne done to Lupita in her debut. It has to be the wrestling. You know, when you picture Sam Hughes trying to wrestle Tecia Torres, it didn't look good. And then she tried to wrestle Loma and just got outclassed in that one. You know, she's maybe going to have an easier time trying to wrestle Lupita compared to those two girls, but at the same time, they've already been in the octagon. Lupita might have her number. So I'm going to side with the Mexican to land her boxing. And you know, man, if Sam Hughes does get those takedowns, it's for Lupita Godinez to work back to her feet. And now back to the boxing. But yeah, we had this fight as amateurs and now we get this fight as professionals. I'm going to say Lupita wins again. My numbers on this one, I'd put Lupita around that 6 times out of 10, so minus 150. And we've got Lupita coming in at minus 200. So yeah, man, the only way Sam Hughes is going to cash that plus 150, plus 160, it's going to look something similar to what Jessica Penne done with the wrestling. Oh boy, Charlie Rosa taking on Damon Jackson. Guys, first of all, I want to show you Charlie Rosa's record, Boston Strong. Check this out. You know, win-loss for 7 years. Can he break the streak? Is it going to happen? And the second thing that I want to show you is, man, take a look at Damon Jackson. Does he look like Mastermind, or am I just too baked? Maybe I'm just too baked. But yeah, this one, man, we've got two grapplers who are really good grapplers. Charlie Rosa is high level jiu-jitsu, really high level. And Damon Jackson on the flip side is pretty much the same. You know, he's looking to choke you out. Massive comeback in his UFC debut. You know, just getting completely outclassed by Mirsad Bektic. But he finds a win. You know, kind of reminds you of when Darren Elkins was getting battered by Bektic as well, but found a win in that last round. That's kind of what Mirsad Bektic is going to be remembered for. But yeah, looking at Damon Jackson and his last fight, absolutely obliterated by Elliot, a real prospect in the UFC. You know, is Charlie Rosa going to put on that type of striking against Damon Jackson? Probably not. These two guys are grapplers, and that's probably what we're going to get. You know, I'm thinking to myself, can Charles Rosa submit Damon Jackson in round 1? Absolutely. You know, the answer is yes. But if Charlie Rosa doesn't find that submission in round 1, Damon Jackson's got some good cardio. You know, you look at him round 3 against Mirsad Bektic. Damon Jackson started that round like it was round 1. You know, and you look at Charlie Rosa against Justin James in round 3. Looking exhausted. So the longer this fight goes, I think it's going to go more towards Damon Jackson. But something tells me that Rosa might break the streak. It's a difficult one, man. It's a real difficult one. I can see Charlie Rosa tired in round 2, tired in round 3. And Damon Jackson's having his own way. But the flip side, I can see Charlie Rosa getting that round 1 submission. And I'm thinking to myself, of course he was going to break the streak. Of course he was going to. It's one of those ones, man. I'm going to take Damon Jackson to keep the streak going. But there's no way I'm laying money. There's no way. My numbers, man, keeping them real close. Damon Jackson -120. Rosa +110. And the actual numbers, we've got Charlie Rosa +150 for the streak to continue. Oh my goodness. So the bookies, Vegas, they're saying, hey, Charlie Rosa's going to lose this one and he's going to continue that streak. Guys, if you're going to bet on this one, doesn't matter which fighter you take, don't lay too much money. Alright, man, moving into Alexandr Romanov taking on Jared Vanderaa. Alright, so for anyone that doesn't know who Alexandr Romanov is, this guy is a complete smasher. You know, if he gets into that full mount position, he just rains down with hammers. Now, I was kind of thinking that Jared Vanderaa could win this matchup. But then I remembered what Sergey Spivak done to him in his UFC debut. You know, Sergey Spivak is a pretty good grappler, but not really known as a smasher. But that's what he done to Jared Vanderaa, you know, just smashed him. The one thing that was making me kind of think that Jared Vanderaa can win, if you remember Alexandr Romanov taking on Juan Espino, you know, Romanov got really tired, you know, and he kind of looked for a way out of that fight, which I don't really want to admit that because I bet on Alexandr Romanov and he was doing nice, but got tired, you know? And when Espino hit him with that groin shot, he was like, nah, let's just stop the fight. Don't worry about it. You know, some people may disagree and say, you know what, he wasn't tired. It really was the groin shot. But I don't know, man. I don't know. So if Jared Vanderaa can keep this one striking, you know, he could beat Alexandr Romanov. But like I said, man, you look at what happened to Jared Vanderaa in his UFC debut, getting smashed like that, and you see Alexandr Romanov doing the same thing. Yeah, that's going to be my prediction. So I'll take Alexandr Romanov, most likely a TKO. My numbers, man, I'd say this one's 7 times out of 10 at least for Alexandr Romanov. 7 times out of 10, which is over -200. And we've got Alexandr Romanov minus 400, which is 8 times out of 10. So the bookies have it 8 times out of 10 for Alexandr Romanov. I would say 7, but that's what the bookies are good at doing. You know, they know it's most likely a 7 out of 10, but they make you pay the juice. And what happens if you're wrong when you pay the juice? That's how the bookies make their money. You know, what we're basically doing is finding lines that are off. You know, this line isn't off. I would say minus 250 and below, now it's off. But you've got Romanov minus 400. Yeah, that's going to be the prediction. Alright, we've got Laureano Staropoli taking on Jamie Pickett. Oh my goodness, how do we even make a prediction? You know, Laureano Staropoli done some nice work coming into the UFC. Beat Thiago Alves, beat Hector Aldana. But then he's got losses to Muslim Salikov, which isn't a bad loss. Lost to Tim Means, again, not a bad loss. And then he stepped up a weight class, which he is staying in this weight class at middleweight. And he got out-grappled by Roman Dolidze. Man, to be honest, all of those losses are okay. They're not bad losses. Jamie Pickett just hasn't done enough for me to pick him here. You know, against Tafon and Chukwi, it's not a bad loss, to be honest, but just didn't look good. Now against Jordan Wright, there's no defending this one. This was a bad loss. Got completely obliterated as well. You know, it wasn't like it was close. It was over straight away. You know, the fight was over before it even started, really. You know, the fight starts and then Jordan Wright just goes mental. And Jamie Pickett crumbles. Now, is Laureano Staropoli going to go all out guns blazing the way Jordan Wright did? Probably not. I think he probably picks apart Jamie Pickett. See what I've done there, guys? Yeah? Yeah, I don't feel real confident laying any money on this one, but I'm going to side with the Argentine, Laureano Staropoli. Just think he's maybe a little bit more skillful than Jamie Pickett when it comes to striking and fight IQ. You know, Jamie Pickett doesn't seem the most intelligent. But maybe he can show me something in this one. We'll see. My betting line, I'm going to say Staropoli wins this one 7 times out of 10. So you'd go just over minus 200. And we've got him bang at minus 200. Alright guys, moving into Chris Gutierrez taking on Felipe Colares. Now this is quite a good matchup. I'm feeling confident on this prediction. Chris Gutierrez is a super nasty low kicker. You know, one of the best calf kickers in the UFC. His boxing isn't as good as his kicking, in my opinion. When I think of Chris Gutierrez, I think of a kicker. You know, and that's pretty much what he's displayed in his UFC career. You look at that win against Vince Morales, you know, low kick after low kick. Even gets the stoppage with the low kick. He's going to try to kick Felipe Colares. Now, the opponent, Felipe Colares, his UFC career's been a little bit back and forth. Debuted against De Freitas. Didn't do too well in that one. Then he put together some nice grappling work against Domingo Pilate, cashed as an underdog. Outclassed by Montel Jackson, which, you know, that's an okay loss. And then I believe he was an underdog against Luke Sanders, and he cashed. So at the moment, man, we've got Felipe Colares only winning as an underdog. I would say he needs to grapple Chris Gutierrez, because if he doesn't, you know, the story's probably going to be the low kick of Chris Gutierrez. I'm feeling confident on this prediction. I'm going to say Chris Gutierrez is able to stop the grappling, therefore landing that low kick over and over. Is Chris Gutierrez going to find a stoppage with the low kick? Maybe not in this one, but I will still take Chris Gutierrez. Yeah, my numbers in this one, out of 10 times, I would say Chris Gutierrez maybe wins this one 8 times, which is maybe a little bit harsh, but 8 times represents minus 400. And the actual numbers, we've got Chris Gutierrez minus 250. So a little bit over 7 times, but not exactly 8 times out of 10 from the bookie. Yeah, so according to me, there is value in the Chris Gutierrez line. But at minus 270, that one has to be a parlay piece. And when I say parlay piece, I don't mean putting that in a 4-legger or a 5-legger. That's going in a 2-leg parlay, most likely. But yeah, the prediction on this one is going to be Chris Gutierrez. Alright, my homies, you know what time it is. Smoke break, smoke break, smoke break. Let's go. If you waited to smoke with me, amen. If you've been smoking this whole time, double amen. If you're not a smoker but you enjoy the smoke breaks, triple amen, gang. Let's go. Guys, let me ask you this question. What is your favourite drink smoke combination? Right? What is, you've got your blunt or you're smoking your bowls, right? What is the drink to go with it? See, for me personally, a coffee and a blunt, you cannot beat this combination. You cannot beat this combination. Obviously, you got the OJ and the blunt too. That's a good combo. But the coffee and the blunt, oh man, that's a combo. That is a combo. Because two things are happening. The coffee's like wake up and the blunt's like go to sleep. It's a great combination, man. Alright, so the smoke break topic on this one, I want to speak a little bit about gambling. Just to, we get new subscribers on the channel, so for anyone that is a new gambler or anyone that is an experienced gambler who needs a reminder on what we're basically doing, and you might hear me reference it throughout this breakdown. I may say how many times out of 10 does this fighter win, right? What we're basically doing as gamblers is looking for lines that we can find an edge on, right? So for an example, let's just take Chris Gutierrez, right? Like I said with the breakdown on Chris, how many times out of 10 would you say Chris Gutierrez beats Felipe Colares? Now, whatever number you decide, let's say you decide 6 times, right? 6 times represents minus 150. So if you think it's 6 times out of 10, you're not going to be betting on Chris Gutierrez at minus 270, minus 250. As a gambler, what you're looking to do is to find lines that you can make a profit on based on your capping. So if I see Chris Gutierrez winning 8 times out of 10, that would be minus 400. And now I'm getting a nice edge on Chris Gutierrez. Minus 270 is 73% and minus 400 is 80%. So you're finding a 7% difference, and then you basically decide, is 7% enough? Is that enough of an edge for me to lay some money? So yeah, that's the smoke break topic, guys. Just a reminder on what we're doing. You look at betting lines and you may think, well, this is a nice betting line, that's a nice betting line. But ultimately what you need to do is ask yourself, how many times does this fighter win out of 10 times? And then when you've got the answer, now you put it into, mathematics. And that's how you play the numbers game. Gambling is a numbers game. Another example would be last week, right? I capped Nico Price around minus 180. And as I capped him at minus 180, he was currently minus 120. Minus 180 represents 6 times out of 10. And you could get him at minus 120, which was basically 5 times out of 10. So yeah, amen to that. Alright guys, let's jump into breaking down the rest of these fights. Alright, moving into Phil Hawes taking on Deron Winn. Now when you see this matchup, you kind of just say Deron Winn's not going to win. Man, I didn't even mean to do that. But yeah, that's what you see, man. You see Phil Hawes, Deron Winn, and you think, yeah, this is Phil Hawes all day. Now there is a way that Deron can win. Oh my, I did it again. He's got to use his wrestling. If he can take down Phil Hawes over and over and just make every round look the same, then he can win this one. But here's the problem. If Deron Winn can have a good start, get that round 1 in the bag, he still has to replicate that performance in round 2. Now let's say he can't do it, right? Let's say he can't take down Phil Hawes. Now he's left to strike. And that's where you see the trouble come in for Deron Winn. Now you can't see a win anymore, right? So yeah, man, I'm going to side with my initial feelings on this one. And that's going to be Phil Hawes via TKO. Who remembers what Phil done to Jacob Malkoun in round 1? Just so nasty. If he can do anything close to the same against Deron Winn, it might be a short night and it will be Deron lose, Alright, that's going to be my prediction though. I'm going to say Deron Winn is a really good wrestler, but he most likely can't continue to wrestle. And if he can't continue to wrestle, Phil Hawes is going to knock him out. Now, if this matchup happened 10 times, how many times does Phil Hawes win? Maybe 7 times. And the actual numbers, we've got Phil Hawes minus 275. We know what it looks like if Deron Winn is able to win. You know, it's going to be the takedowns. It's going to be wrestling. Maybe 2 rounds out of 3 or 3 out of 3. We know how this one goes down for both guys. I'm going to say Phil Hawes. Alright guys, we've got Mariya Agipova taking on Sabina Mazo. So looking at both of these girls, Mariya Agipova is a kickboxer. Sabina Mazo is a Muay Thai fighter. Mariya Agipova has got some jiu-jitsu. She's got some nice groundwork. Not that you see that against Shana Dobson, right? The main reason for that happening though was Mariya Agipova said, look, this is how much adrenaline I have and watch me dump it all inside 60 seconds. You know, that's why that happened. You know, Sabina Mazo has never done that. She's never gone and dumped all of her adrenaline inside 60 seconds. She does kind of eat the low kick. You know, you look at what Alexis Davis was doing with that low kick. Sabina Mazo was there all day to get kicked. Now, if Mariya Agipova can, you know, come into this fight with the mindset that she's not there to fight for 60 seconds, if she can come in prepared, you know, she's got a chance in beating Sabina Mazo. It's a really decent fight, man, because Sabina Mazo has some nice kicks, some nice grappling. You know, she's been okay in the UFC. Yeah, it's a good matchup, guys. If Mariya Agipova can fight composed, I think she can win this one. If I had to be more specific on how she's going to win, I would say the speed of her boxing. And maybe look to land a low kick, the way Alexis Davis did. Yeah, so on this one, guys, I'm going to go with Mariya Agipova. I just hope she doesn't, you know, get crazy. Alright, out of 10 times, how many times does Mariya Agipova win? Maybe 5, to be honest. And the actual numbers, we've got Mariya Agipova plus 130. So the bookies have it nearly 6 times to Sabina, 4 times to Mariya, which is pretty spot on. I would say it's more 5 each, which keeps the line a little bit closer. So yeah, I'm liking that. Alright guys, moving into Tim Elliott taking on Matheus Nicolau. You know, I keep referencing how many times does this fighter win out of 10. Really, what a pick'em matchup is one side wins 5 times out of 10 and the other side wins the other 5, right? So anytime you think you have a pick'em matchup, that's really what you see. And that's basically what I see with this one. You know, Tim Elliott, a veteran's veteran, super unorthodox with his movement. I think James Krause at Glory MMA has made him a little bit more composed. Maybe improved his game. You know, he's been doing some nice work. You see what he done to Jordan Espinosa. Just complete domination. Matheus Nicolau on the flip side, he got back into the UFC against Manel Kopp. And yeah, had some nice work in that one, landing his punches. Personally, I think it could have gone to Manel. But when you look at the inactivity of Manel, maybe that's why it went against him. You know, inactivity isn't something you can worry about with Tim Elliott. You know, this guy is just crazy. And to be honest, man, I don't think Tim Elliott actually knows what he's going to throw next. He's just throwing every technique. Yeah, the way Tim Elliott is going to win this matchup is going to be output. So if Matheus slows down outside of round 1, yeah, Tim Elliott with the forward pressure, takedowns, and a high output, that's going to be the result. But if Matheus Nicolau can land those big punches in round 1, maybe can knock out Tim Elliott. You know, Tim Elliott doesn't have the best striking defense. You're going to get your chances to land those punches. And man, some of the punches Matheus was landing against Manel Kopp, yeah, I could really see those punches setting down Tim Elliott. Out of 10 times, I really think Matheus would win maybe 5. And the same with Tim Elliott. But if I had to make a prediction and pick a side, I'm gonna go with the veteran experience of Tim Elliott. So surviving round 1 would be key to getting the win. If he can survive round 1, take over with the output, the cardio, yeah, the veteran can win it. So yeah, my numbers though, like I said, minus 110 each. And we've got Tim Elliot plus 140, plus 150, which is 4 times out of 10 instead of 5 times. But yeah, the bookies, you know, pretty much got it spot on. Minus 180 on Matheus, plus 150 on Tim Elliot. That's basically saying we think Matheus is going to win 6 times out of 10. But instead of getting that minus 150 price, you've got to pay a little bit of juice. You know, you're paying up to minus 170, minus 185. Alright guys, co-main event, we've got Randy Brown taking on Jared Gooden. Man, what Jared Gooden done in his last matchup against Nicholas Stolzer. Oh my goodness. And man, can anyone remember how charged up Jared Gooden was after that win? You know, he's like, hey, I know you see me. I know you effing see me. And then he calmed down and instantly he said to the doctor, I just feel good, man. But yeah, nice win for Jared Gooden. You know, he completely obliterated Nicholas Stolzer. You know, that right hand came straight down the barrel and Nicholas Stolzer straight to the mat, you know. But then you look at some of the nice work that Randy Brown's done, you know. Barberena, that was a nice win. Warley Alves. And against Alex Oliveira with the one-arm rear naked choke, you know, really nice work. If I had to pick who the better fighter is, the more technical guy, I would say it's Randy Brown. But you see that right hand of Jared Gooden come straight down the barrel. You know, there is a chance. If Jared Gooden wants to win this matchup, it's probably going to be the right hand. So TKO prop. For me though, I'm going to take Randy Brown purely because if that knockout doesn't come, Randy Brown's going to maybe win this one on points. I would put Randy Brown around minus 220. And we've got the actual numbers. Randy Brown minus 250, minus 240. So yeah, man, I agree with the bookies on this one. Randy Brown, if he doesn't get knocked out, should win this one. Alright, my homies, we've got the main event. Marina Rodriguez taking on Mackenzie Dern. If you've enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you smash the subscribe button. Hamzat, smash the like button. Now I'm going to spark up and I'll tell you why. There doesn't need to be a reason to spark up, but there is a reason. Herb Dean. Herb Dean is a funny man and I'm going to show you exactly why. So before we get to that, Marina Rodriguez is a Muay Thai fighter. Mackenzie Dern is a Jiu-Jitsu fighter. Now taking a look at Marina Rodriguez against Amanda Ribas, which wasn't her last matchup. Her last matchup was a 5-rounder against Michelle Waterson. But prior to that, she obliterated Amanda Ribas, right? So she knocks her down and it looks like Herb Dean wants to stop the fight, right? So Marina Rodriguez is like, yo, you got way too close to me. I'm trying to do some work. You just stop the fight. But Herb Dean's like, no, I'm not stopping that. It wasn't me, right? And in that moment, Marina Rodriguez basically turned into Nate Diaz for a second. So then Marina Rodriguez is like, yo, okay, I'll just do it again. No worries. So she goes in for the kill, gets the win against Amanda Ribas. Man, even when Herb Dean was like, no, I didn't stop the fight, Amanda Ribas was looking at Herb Dean like, man, please stop the fight. Like, what are you doing? But yeah, Marina Rodriguez, as we can see, is a nasty, nasty striker. Now she's fighting Mackenzie Dern, who is a Jiu-Jitsu girl. Mackenzie Dern is a fighter that I've never picked against. I do think that Mackenzie Dern's striking has improved. Like, if you look at her striking against Ashley Yoder and then look at her striking against Vernie Jandaroba, big difference. But I'm just wondering, man, even though her striking has improved, is it good enough to compete with Marina Rodriguez? If I had to answer that question, I'd probably say no. There is a way that Mackenzie Dern is going to win this fight. She has to take it to the mat. Now, Marina Rodriguez hasn't got the best takedown defense, but kind of the same thing as Mackenzie Dern, right? Mackenzie Dern striking from Ashley Yoder to Jandiroba, big difference. If you look at Marina's takedown defense against, say, Randa Marcos, compared to Amanda Ribas and Michelle Waterson, big difference. You know, Mackenzie Dern can take down Marina Rodriguez, but if Marina doesn't get submitted and she can make it to round 2, start on the feet again, you know, she might take over with the striking. Man, it's a really, really decent main event. I've never picked against Mackenzie Dern, but I think I'm gonna this time. I think Marina Rodriguez, man, is a super nasty Muay Thai striker. If she can avoid the ground game, yeah, she wins this one. But you know, the complete opposite is if Mackenzie Dern can take it to the mat, she wins this one, right? I like the striker a little bit more. I'm not going to like the striker if the striker's made to grapple. And that's what makes fights. Styles make fights. Out of 10 times, I would say Marina Rodriguez maybe wins this 6 times. So I'll put Marina Rodriguez minus 150. And we've got Marina Rodriguez plus 120, plus 130. And the bookies have Mackenzie Dern minus 150, which represents winning 6 times out of 10. Yeah, really decent main event. Looking forward to it. As always, guys, leave down your parlays, your doubles, all of that good stuff. And just before we sign off, guys, keep your eyes to the sky, never glued to your shoes. Mac Miller. Peace.